Hey there guys, welcome back to What Cheers. I'm Nick as always. Tonight we're going to take a look at a beer from Treehouse that is not your typical beer from them, and I'm really excited about that. I have a few different beers from them now that are not what you traditionally see from these guys, and I'll tell you why. This is classified as a Monson lager, which you'll see in the beginning of the video. And so what's going on here is that Brendan, who is the wonderful, amazing, super talented assistant brewer to Nate, has been pretty much taking over the old 5-barrel system that's still in the brew house, and he's pretty much brewing whatever he wants at this point. And what he's been able to put out is some really interesting beers. He's put out some really amazing hoppy beers, but now he's starting to do more of these interpretations of lagers, which is very cool because, again, the very well-known Treehouse beers are typically hoppy beers. So it's really cool to have a few different types of lagers that he's working on, and they're all brewed in the 5-barrel system. They, I think, so far have all been one-offs. I'm not positive on that, but I think as far as the lagers go, they've all been one-offs. This one certainly is. It's already in the retired category. But either way, I just figured it'd be cool to review something that, not everyone else is reviewing, because I know a lot of you guys, I love seeing your reviews of all the hoppy beers, and it feels like I don't need to somewhat review them all because everyone's already doing that. But it's cool to maybe review some things that are less talked about, and so this is one of those beers. I have a few more in the fridge that are lagers, and actually a couple other ones that are kind of like one-offs that I'm going to review as well. But this one is Fall Line. It's 5% alcohol, and it's a Monson lager. So I guess it's exactly what it says. It's basically their interpretation of what a lager is, or what Brendan's interpretation of a lager is in Monson. And this was filled on September 19th. I'll get this out of the way. It is October 23rd. This growler is almost 5 weeks old, so I have to take that into account when doing this review. I could not get this beer. I missed out on it when it came out. I could not get it from anybody. I guess these smaller batches are just hard to get. But I have to give a huge thanks to my good new friend Steve, also a big Treehouse supporter, one of the biggest Treehouse supporters I know. And Steve was very generous and hooked me up with this basically at my last attempt. So I really appreciate it, man. You know how much I appreciate it. We met up in person, great guy. So thank you to Steve. And let's just talk about the beer real quick at this point because we're already running on. I haven't reviewed in a while. So this is the description anyways, at least some of it from Nate on BeerAdvocate wrote this, and it's it says Brendan continues the fruitful quest for interpretation of unique and crispy little bottom fermented beers. It says introducing Fall Line, a new lager perfect for these unseasonably warm late summer nights, which those have come and passed, unfortunately. But it has the word fall in it, so I figured why not. It says its pores are brilliant yellow, blah blah blah. A bit drier and punchier than Trail Magic, which is also going to be a review that I post. Delicate hop aromatics intermingling with biscuity malts. Fall Line is super crisp and a beer designed for a 1-liter tankard and the joyful rambunctiousness that comes with it. Don't miss it. So as I said, it's about 5 weeks old. It's been kept cold. I know Brendan opened one not too long ago and it was still really good. So I'm assuming this is going to be just fine for a lager, even if it is a little bit on the hoppier side. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and crack into the Fall Line. I really don't know what to expect with this. And I believe this is the first lager I've ever tasted or that I'm going to ever try from Treehouse thus far. And if you guys are familiar with what Brendan has been doing, he has been killing it. So I expect this to be just awesome for a lager. Let's get it cracked open, guys, and let's check it out. All right, just popped the top. I usually start recording before I do that, but anyways, I just popped it. It has a little bit of smoke coming off the top, which is always a good sign. Let's see, this is filled to the brim. Typical Treehouse pour, but we'll see if we don't spill this. All right, guys, got the fall line poured out there. As you can see, actually came into a really good pour there. It's got about a 2-finger head of a really nice bright white head, and some medium-sized bubbles throughout the head, tightly packed. And the color on this is just extraordinary, actually. It's a super bright, like light yellow color. Almost looks like it has a greenish tint to it. It's really, really beautiful. I don't know if you guys can tell, but holding up to the light, it's this beautiful, crisp, golden yellow color, and almost like, again, almost like a green tinge to it, which is just, I've never seen anything like that before. This beer is actually, for the most part, crystal clear. There might be a slight haze to it. No, it's pretty much like crystal clear in the glass, and I can see the nice carbonation streaming up from the bottom. Beautiful looking beer, just totally, again, this is not your typical Treehouse hoppy beer that I have reviewed a million times over. The only thing I didn't mention was that it's been out of the fridge for about 20 to 25 minutes, and it's still very, very chilled because it's colder now in the house. So right now it's more of a chill than I usually do, but that's okay because this is a lager, and I typically like my lagers a little bit more chilled anyway. So let's go ahead and dive into the aroma on this, guys. I have no idea what to expect, so let's go ahead. Oh wow. Oh wow. It's somehow still Treehouse right out the gate. It smells very citrusy. There's this really nice, like, bready, crackery malts character to it that's very prominent up front. There's this sweet sort of sugar-coated lemon, lime, and orange. Yeah, there's this lemon, lime, like candied lemon, lime, and orange. But that very classic, like, crisp, clean smelling lager. You know, a little bit of that bready, crackery malt to it, but just a very, very pleasant, clean aroma. It's only 5%, so it's going to be really, really nice to drink, guys. And let's go ahead and get a sip finally. Thank you so much, Steve. You are the man. Man, I can't thank you enough, so cheers. Oh, man. That is so... Oh, wow. That wonderful bready aftertaste. Very clean. So crisp. I cannot, like, this is 5 weeks old. I was, like, even nervous about reviewing this. This tastes to me like it's fresh. Like, super fresh. This is amazing, guys. Let's get another sip. Wow. That is just so delicious. It matches the aroma perfectly. There's a huge pop of this, like, bright, like, sugar-coated citrus up front. Again, like lemon, lime, orange, a little orange peel, candied orange. There's that sweetness up front, and then it just transitions to this beautiful, like, super clean, slightly hopped kind of feeling middle of the mouth. And then it just dries out, and it is so crisp, and it just has that, like, little bit of a bready, crackery malt aftertaste that you expect from a lager. Just one of the cleanest, most crisp beers I've had in a long time. Wow. After you swallow, it does kind of, like, leave this wonderful, slightly like bright citrus zest kind of note in your mouth, like bright orange zest, kind of just coats your mouth. But the beer finish is dry. It sort of dries out your tongue, and it's definitely hoppier than I expected. This is a pretty hoppy lager. It definitely didn't really address that too much in the description, but you can tell this is a nice hoppy, juicy citrus juicy kind of a lager that I wasn't expecting it to be this citrus forward. But it is a treehouse beer, and I guess that's to be expected with something like this, especially with the light color. That you probably knew you were in for something that's a little brighter and sweeter and more citrusy than a typical or darker lager, something like that. But they said it's a Monson lager. Now I get it, because what do they do in Monson? They make a lot of the best hoppy beers in the world. So this is definitely their take on it. And Brendan, wow, man, I know Brendan usually watches my reviews, which is very flattering and awesome. And if Brendan, you're watching this, again, man, this is almost 5 weeks that I'm reviewing this, and it tastes so freaking good right now. Like, if someone told me this was a week old or even a couple days old, I'd believe them. I couldn't tell you how this would taste fresh, but right now this tastes like the growler was just filled. That's the power and just the wonder of Treehouse, that, you know, it's filled properly, it's kept in proper conditions. Their beer holds up. It really holds up. And it's just incredible to see. Yeah, so I'm going to sip on this, guys, for another few minutes and come back to you with my final thoughts and score on the fall line. But as far as what this beer is so far, I think it's absolutely phenomenal. It's not even what I was expecting, to be honest, which is also kind of fun and surprising, and I really didn't have a lot of information going into it. But I'm going to let it warm up a few more minutes and see if it changes at all. And I'm going to crush some of this right now while I'm off camera so I can enjoy it. But I'll be back with my final thoughts and score on the fall line, guys. Alright guys, so I've been sipping on the fall line for a few minutes now. I actually poured a little bit more in the glass because I drank everything when I was off camera, and it is just, as you can expect, probably, it's 5%, it's a hoppy lager, it's beyond crushable, and it's from Treehouse. So all those things combined, it makes a really delicious, wonderful beer to drink. Everything from the appearance to the finish of this beer and the taste is just so well done. It's definitely not what I was expecting, but I also should probably have expected it to be a hoppy lager. However, that being said, I definitely know that the other lagers that I have to review, or the other beers from Brendan, I know there's at least one other lager I have to review that is not hoppy. At least two, actually. They're not hoppy, so that'll be different to try. But yeah, it's so light in the alcohol, but it's so packed with flavor. It's really, really like densely packed with flavor, which is really crazy for 5%. And again, as I let it warm a little bit more, I get tons of sweet orange, really like bright, zesty, sweet orange, and the lemon lime kind of thing still stands out for me. It's like this sugar-coated lemon lime. Yeah, it's still there in the aroma too. Just a wonderful like bouquet of citrus notes, zesty notes, sweet orange, candied lemon lime, a little bready, crackery note to it. There's just a perfect amount of sweetness on the tongue that makes it not really taste much like a lager, but there is that kind of very clean, like you cannot get that clean, crisp flavor without it being a lager. Like it's just, there's something about it I can't describe exactly, but it's this crisp, clean flavor all throughout the beer that is just exceptional. And it really just kind of, it does coat your mouth with those like sweet orange and zesty flavors, and then that bready, crackery malt. It's just so nice. Kind of defines the beer really, and then it finishes very, very clean and dry on the palate. No bitterness whatsoever. Mouthfeel on this is actually somewhat creamy, which I guess you'd expect too from Treehouse. But for like a light lager, it's actually got a little bit of a mouthfeel. It's not totally like watery or anything like that. And the carbonation is super spritzy and just it moves the beer super quick. I mean, it's a spritzy, nice, soft carbonation. Wow, I love that sweetness. It's just the perfect sweetness to balance the hops. And you're left with a lot of those wonderful flavors in your tongue, along with that bready, crackery malt. So it's an amazing, amazing IPL. I'm going to call it that. But, you know, instantly I have to think of Jack's Abbey, because Jack's Abbey to me is sort of like the kings of doing hoppy lagers around town. And this definitely stacks up to it. You know, I guess if you handed this to me blind and said, this is Jack's Abbey's new hoppy lager, sure, I believe it. Just because it's Treehouse doesn't mean it's necessarily like, you know, it's going to blow away every lager in the world, but this is really, really good stuff. And I would believe them if they said this was Jack's Abbey, because Jack's Abbey does an amazing job as well. But as far as Brendan doing this is absolutely phenomenal. Awesome beer, man. I am so lucky I got to try this. I don't know why it's so hard to get these. I guess people actually want to drink them when they get them because they're a smaller batch. So yeah, anyways, as far as a rating on this, guys, you've heard me talk enough. It doesn't have enough ratings on BeerAdvocate to have a score. This beer is already listed as retired in BeerAdvocate, so I guess it's not being made again, at least not this year, because it was a beer made for the transition into fall. Yeah, so you know, again, it's a tough one. You're looking at Treehouse beer, it's not an IPA or anything like that, so overall, as far as a score, guys, I think I like this beer a lot. Like, I really, really do, because it's something different and it's done so well. I'll probably go like 98, honestly. I mean, I know there's a big jump between 99 and 100, but I think 98 is still, yeah, so fucking good beer, guys. I actually really wish that this was more done more frequently. Hoppy lagers, this could be something that maybe they'll do in the future, but they already are so focused on Julius and Grain and Haze and blah 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 blah. So there's too many other amazing hoppy beers to have you know, a whole section for hoppy lagers. But maybe this will be maybe Brendan will do some other hoppy lagers and different stuff like that, which would be really cool as well on the 5-barrel. I do have to say though, I love that this beer is still distinctly Treehouse, even as it warms up. There's just something about it that you could almost do this blind and say, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Treehouse. Like, it's got distinctness to it, and the only way you'd know what I'm talking about is if you've had enough Treehouse, I think, and then you'd say, yeah, I know what you mean, because I can do the same thing with Trillium, and there's something, you know, Hill Farmstead. You could definitely do that with Hill Farmstead. If you're trying something for the first time, you could definitely pick it out. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. It's going to get a 98 from me for the fall line. And I know, you know, obviously probably no one watching has it now. However, I'll obviously post this in the Treehouse gang. And if you guys got this and have already drank it, please let me know your thoughts. I'm sure a lot of you actually did get this and drank it. So let me know your thoughts of this beer and if you agree with me, disagree. And again, this is 5 weeks old. I already forgot about that until I just mentioned it again, because it does not taste more than a couple of days old. I really can't imagine what this was like fresh, if it tastes this good now, because it just tastes like it was just poured out of the tap. And that's no exaggeration. I would be completely honest, and I would give it the benefit of the doubt if it didn't, but it tastes super fresh. So huge props to Treehouse for that. It's just amazing. I don't know how they do it. It's just so bright and crushable and citrusy and slightly sweet and zesty. It is that perfect end of summer, like clean, hoppy, beautiful lager. Man, this is so good. And even drinking it now, even though it's colder tonight, it's so refreshing. It is so refreshing, it's ridiculous. But anyways, guys, 98 from me. Let me know what you think of the fall line if you got to have it. There'll be more reviews from Brendan's beers coming soon of his small batch stuff. So it'll be more interesting beers for me to showcase for you guys very, very soon. But I wanted to get this one up because it's fall related, and somehow we're already in the end of October. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, wonderful, wonderful beer, world-class lager right here, hoppy lager. And I hope that he brews this one again, or at least a different hoppy lager for more people to try. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next beer review, guys. Thanks so much, and thank you to Steve. You fucking rock, man. Cheers.